tweet the shit out of that shit. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are the MMA Advocates on this fucking, I guess we could call it a historic day, right? This history was made today. The booking of the fight we've all been I've been shitting on forever. Now it's going to happen, so now we got to kind of embrace it. At least I do. Mayweather against McGregor will be going down at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, August 26th. Dave Rodriguez at ABQ, your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, when I heard about it, I mean, we all know it was brewing up. It was back and forth. In the end, like the last we heard is like Ari Emmanuel himself was like taking over, you know, him and whatever Bob Arum putting this shit together. And for one good reason, to make a shit ton of money, you know what I'm saying? So the time is now, man. They had to make it happen now. And, you know what I mean? They had like a whatever September date, October date. I guess the August thing worked out for them. So it's going to happen, man. I mean, yeah, hopefully it happens. I mean, it's agreed to. They're going to do their thing. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. And we see a fucking, like you said, Eddie, it's a somewhat of a historical day. And only time will tell because, you know, fights drop out all the time and notorious shit happens. I mean, but I think we'll see this one. I think we're actually going to see this play out. So, yeah, pleased to hear about it. I'll believe it when I see it, though, of course, too. So.
Yeah, no, Fred, we've been talking about this fight forever, man. What do you think?
Dude, I think it's fucking absolutely historic. I mean, fucking huge, Jack. Like, I see already all the fucking naysayers and the crybabies and all, you know, the boxing purists and the MMA purists. Shut the fuck up. Shit's tight. This is a big fucking deal. It's going to be eyeballs for everybody. Lord knows boxing could use any eyeballs they can get. And everybody's like, is it bad for the UFC? On what fucking level? Conor's going to box, dude. Can you imagine the fucking pre-fight hype leading up to this? Because you know Conor's going to mention the fact that if this was a real fight, he'd beat the shit out of Floyd and every bodyguard he's got on the stage. And MMA fans worldwide will fucking cheer. This is going to be fucking huge. The fact that they even got it done is incredible. As long as nobody falls out, I mean, what the fuck, right? Biggest fight ever.
Biggest fight ever? Especially on the money-wise. John, what do you think?
Thanks, Kelvin. I'm glad to be here with you guys.
That joke's not tired at all, Dave. That's all Dave's doing. I know that shit.
Okay, so I have a couple of thoughts on this. One, I knew that shit was gonna get done as soon as what's his name, Ari Emmanuel and the Jason agent who stepped in, who got the Floyd Pacquiao thing got done. There were rumors about that. Like last week, Dana said I'm negotiating it, because the rumors were that the big boys stepped in. As soon as that happened, I was like, okay, this fight's done. As far as a betting man, which I am, this is free money, man. At -1,000 for Floyd, I mean, I've never bet on a -1,000 favorite. It's pretty unheard of. I would say there's a lot of value at Floyd -1,000. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things where for Conor, it's a win-win situation, right? Like what Fred just said, even if he loses, then MMA fans were just going to turn around and say, well, if it was an MMA fight, Floyd would have lost, right? So for Conor, even if he loses, he still wins. He gets paid. You know, he's been able to parlay every success into a bigger success. Conor has rolled 77 consecutive sevens at a craps table, and, you know, now he's up to $100 million. I do think the fight will be really embarrassing. I think Conor probably gets knocked out within 6 rounds. I don't think he ever comes close to laying a glove on Floyd. I think Floyd probably clowns him and like dances around and does some like embarrassing shit before stinging him with like really hard punches. I thought it was interesting that Floyd made it 12 rounds and 10-ounce gloves. 154 pounds means 10-ounce gloves instead of 8-ounce gloves. Yeah. That's the type of shit Sugar Ray Leonard did when he beat Marvin Hagler. He did the same thing. He negotiated the smaller or the bigger ring and the bigger gloves. So Floyd's already kind of trying to take away Conor's one shot at this, which is the knockout by making the gloves bigger. So, yeah, I mean, I expect Conor to get finished here. I know Conor's tough, but the thing is, Floyd hits soft for a professional boxer. Floyd does not hit soft for the earth, you know? And Conor sticks his chin out there, and Conor takes punishment, but when you're getting hit 10, 12 times every time you throw a punch, eventually that drops anyone. And Floyd is a professional hitter, you know? Like, Conor has never been hit by someone with as good technique as Floyd. He's never going to be hit by someone with as good timing, with as good accuracy. Floyd's going to put Conor down within 6 rounds. That's my opinion.
6 rounds. Damn, Jesse. So we heard this fight's official now. It's real. All right, August 26th, Las Vegas. I know, we kind of called it a circus fight forever. I've been calling it a circus fight forever. What do you think of this shit?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because it's all pictures over here on my side, crappy Wi-Fi. Anyway, yeah, I agree with you. Circus fight. I've never really wanted to give it the time of day, right? Ever since everybody's been trying to talk about this fight, but I guess the reckoning has come. They made a deal, and I guess it's time for us to, talk about it. Circus fight still, and I think it's just gonna be one of those things where we're all gonna be disappointed in the end. I just don't see how Conor McGregor can do anything here. So Mayweather in, I don't know, a 12-round boring fight.
Do you think it goes decision? You think McGregor lasts the whole fight?
Yeah, I think so.
Damn. That's
a moral victory right there. If Conor lasts 12 rounds, that's a moral victory.
But the way I've been saying it, if McGregor lasts more than like 5 rounds, if he gets halfway through the fight, McGregor won.
Yep.
For all intents and purposes, McGregor wins.
Right. I see that, but do you really think Mayweather would risk getting caught?
I don't think there's any risk. He's fighting a man off the street. I mean, this is literally a carnival boxer fighting a man off the street. Conor is to professional boxing what I am to professional sprinting, a non-fucking entity, He's not a professional boxer. He's not an amateur boxer. He's not a boxer. He's going to get fucking worked.
Yeah, that's like saying in a street fight, just because any kind of martial art, you're going to win every single street fight. Because when you walk into that nonchalantly, you're going to get caught by somebody.
A boxing match. A boxing match has strict rules.
That's still the point. That's still the point, though. Just because you are better than somebody, how many times have we seen in any arena of boxing, MMA, someone is 10 times, 100 times better than the other person?
We've never seen an amateur walk into a professional sport and defeat professionals. Have you ever seen that show Pros versus Joes? That is literally what this is. This is Pros versus Joes. And in Pros versus Joes, everyone who talks like you, who says, oh, haven't we seen, should watch Pros versus Joes and see 40-year-old Hakeem Olajuwon giving it to dudes who are like 20 years old and play Division I basketball. Because there's a marked difference between professionals and amateurs. That's the problem.
Okay. I mean, I'm telling you.
Listen, it's hard to argue, right? I mean, because Floyd Mayweather is fucking quite possibly the greatest boxer ever.
Of his generation, no doubt, right? Of this last generation.
For sure, no doubt. Possibly ever, right? I mean, you could argue about his record is probably a little,
for sure,
questionable, but possibly ever. I guess for me, this question, the question kind of comes down to how serious does Floyd take this fight? Does Floyd drink his own Kool-Aid? Does Floyd stay out fucking strippers all night and just not take Conor seriously at all? Because if Floyd does that, then he does lose the opportunity to get caught. Anything can happen. This isn't a baseball game. This isn't basketball.
Right. That being said,
I definitely know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Listen, Conor is more than likely going to get worked. I mean, this is a professional boxing match. There's a massive difference between boxing and MMA. We all fucking know that. Puncher's chance, right?
That being said, I mean, look, just like John was talking about this before, 10-ounce gloves, the weight. I mean, the shit's already getting heavy towards Mayweather's side. Mayweather's an idiot.
Conor gasses in 5-round fights.
Right. But when Mayweather sets up his fights, dude, I know. But when Mayweather sets up his fights, they're never even or fair. Never. He fought Pacquiao way after his prime. He fought Pacquiao way after Pacquiao even had a chance to hurt him. Right? He's smart. Mayweather knows his fight's over already.
What he does, he's also giving him a short camp, right? It's August. What's he getting? Right. 8 weeks? How much improvement is Conor going to make in 8 weeks? Zero that's manageable, Like, Conor's had a year of boxing. What's a year of boxing going to do against the greatest defensive fighter of all time, right? Like, defensively, Floyd's in the conversation. Maybe not, like, as an overall boxer, but defensively, you're talking about a dude who's been hit 2 times solidly in a 20-year boxing career by the best of the best. Conor's going to come in there and land on that dude? Okay.
Even if he does, again, 10-ounce gloves and everything, McGregor would have to be on his shit to catch him one time. I think he gets one shot in, but he's not going to knock Mayweather out. I don't see it. Not with 10-ounce gloves.
But that's the beautiful. That's the beautiful thing about the fight, though. He took the fight with all this bullshit.
You gotta give him props.
Floyd.
Give him props.
Have your big ring, have your big gloves. I'm still gonna take the fight. So really, even if he gets embarrassed, he don't really get embarrassed. I mean, it's
but
still
$100
a win-win
million,
for Conor.
like a lot of people do a lot of embarrassing shit for $100 million.
Oh yeah.
Fuck
And
yeah.
also too,
that's still beside the point, though. Like the point that we're trying to discuss here is like, do you guys really think that Conor's gonna be able to land a punch? I really don't think so. But then again, do you really think that Mayweather is gonna go after him and try to put him away?
Yes.
I don't think so either. What fights have we seen that Mayweather has done that? Even fights where
he's fighting guys who
wait. When he's way better than professional boxers, he keeps away. When he knows he can't even be touched by these guys, do you really think that he would risk, even in the smallest amount, of giving Conor McGregor an opportunity to hurt him? That's not even a thought. This is going to be the single most predictable fight. 12 rounds of moving around, Conor trying to hit him, hitting air, and then 12 rounds later, we get a Mayweather decision. That's what we're going to see here.
Right, to your point, Brendan Schaub saying he's going to throw 10K on it going the distance.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Brendan Schaub has lost bets before that I've seen. They were pretty bad. But who fucking knows? Anyway, but all right, let's talk.
I was going to mention, before we cap that topic, though, I wanted to run it by you guys, everybody on the panel. You guys think that the timing of the fight, because all of a sudden you heard a lot of people really thinking this shit wasn't going to happen, and they became disinterested and whatever, and then it just came through, and everybody's, of course, this is saying it's the biggest fight ever. So you think that factored in that it was kind of losing some shine, and the timing, it had to fucking happen? John mentioned, it's going to be a short camp for Conor. He usually tries to what is it, 3-month training camp for Nate, both times longer, you know what I mean? So it's really John made a good point, though. It's sort of swinging towards Mayweather's way, but it's really I think they had to do it now, and it was forced on by a lot of the negative feedback, I guess you could say, about this fight.
It got forced on because Canelo Triple G took that September 16 date, dude.
And I think that shit filtered up to Ari Emmanuel and the people that actually matter, and they were like, "Wait, we're not getting this done because Dana White's in the way. Get the fuck out of the way, Dana. Let the big boys get shit done."
Yeah, that's what happened.
Ari Emmanuel's got a lot. Did any of y'all watch Entourage, the show?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. Me too. Let me tell you something, Jack. Ari Gold ain't nothing nice. If that show's even fucking 20% accurate.
I mean, but even beyond that, I read the book Powerhouse, which is about CAA, which is where he broke off of. So Ari Emmanuel, he's engineered a lot of coups. Him and that other dude, they broke off of CAA and started to rebuild WME with this whole back fucking coup thing. It was a big thing. Those dudes, I always say, Ari Emmanuel doesn't pick up Dana White's calls. Dana White is not important enough for Ari Emmanuel to pick up his calls. Straight up.
Honestly, I would love to see what their relationship is like. He's flying the world status. Just because I want to see Dana White get sunned a little bit.
Yeah.
Funny shit. All right, Fred. A quick question for you, Fred. I know it's to everybody, but Fred goes first here. McGregor gets paid whatever money for this. Is he done? You see him in the UFC again?
No, okay, so yeah, I'm glad you asked this, man. I got a couple fucking things here. First off, no, he's not done. I don't give a shit what nobody says. I'll tell you why. Couple things. I think that's probably a stipulation of the UFC letting this happen. Mm-hmm. Make no mistake about it. The UFC is letting Conor McGregor go make this money and box Floyd Mayweather. They don't have to. What the fuck? If that was the case, Anderson would have bounced and boxed fucking Roy Jones Jr. a month of Sundays ago. They're letting this shit happen. So, and beyond that, though, listen, man, I think that Conor McGregor will fight in MMA again for the same reason that the Cheeto monster ran to be president. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, the richest man in the world finds something else to want. And at the end of the day, Conor McGregor is definitely driven to be the greatest. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get paid a lot of money, but regardless. Now, if he comes back to MMA and gets trounced one good time, he might pull a Ronda Rousey. But he's coming back to MMA, win, lose, or draw after this fight, I believe.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you guys watch the press conference announcing the fight? Dana said that Conor is fighting sometime
before the end of the year.
Yeah, he said he wants to fight again this year. Yeah.
So what are we looking at? We're probably looking at that end of the year card, right? In Madison.
Yes, yeah.
So I mean, this is perfect, right? This is actually the perfect setup for ending your career as Conor McGregor. You make a big payday. A couple months later, you make one more giant payday in the company that made you a star, and you're gone. Like, this is perfect. You couldn't write it better, right, Fred?
I think
Pretty much, dude. I mean, but
whether Conor. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Fred.
And then who does he fight? Tony Ferguson?
Who?
Hell no.
I think he fights Nate again.
Nate, yeah. That's the fight.
That's a
I
money
think
fight.
here's what I think we'll find out. Like, we'll find out, does Conor McGregor like winning, or does Conor McGregor like beating people, right? Because I think there's a very clear difference between people who love to win and people who love to beat people, right? Ronda Rousey, she loved to beat people. She didn't really love to win, I think. I think she got off on that bullying. Like Michael Jordan, I think, to an aspect, like had that I'd rather beat you than win type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that gets beaten out of you like once you lose. You know, like if you're like in this because you really want to just dominate, that kind of goes away once you're dominated and you see that like that's a two-way street. You know, we see that a lot in fighting with front runners, right? Brock, Ronda, best examples of that. But if Conor like actually is someone who wants to win and wants to be like the greatest MMA fighter, I think he comes back, and even if he loses to Ferg, or I don't think he's a top 5 lightweight, to be honest. So I mean, I think there's 5 dudes in the top 5 that whoop his ass, not including Nate. So I mean, I think like if I'm him, I'm staying away from lightweight as much as possible because I know there's just a bunch of killers there waiting to whoop my ass that no one knows who they are. But I think he fights again. Because I think, like Fred said, I think there's a stipulation saying he has to fight again, if not by this year, within like 6 months or something, because the UFC want that Conor McGregor money, and they don't want him just taking that money and bouncing.
Yeah, I think Ari Emmanuel's gonna just let him go to boxing and then be like, all right, go on. Ari's not an idiot. He knows what the fuck is going on. So he'll be like, you got to fight for us at least once or twice more, and see what happens there. All right. Well. So
we actually get a Conor McGregor title defense then? Is that what you're saying, Ed?
I hope so.
But he's gonna move up to 170. Although if Maia wins, I mean McGregor.
If Maia wins, he's going to 170. Or if GSP like gets near that strap, I think he might fight GSP. That might be the one fight. You know,
that'd be interesting. No. It's possible after this fight. It's possible after this fight.
I fucking hope they don't do the GSP fight, man. I want to see Conor fight fucking somebody that matters, that's relevant. Goddamn. Because listen, at the end of the day, John's right, man. He's probably going to get washed in this fight. He's got, for respect, obviously, the MMA Valley Tudo guys, you know how our kind get down, so to speak. But this is kind of still not really a test of his fucking skills. And if he comes back and fights GSP, we're in that set, fuck, man, I want to see fucking Conor fight one of those guys. I disagree with John. I think that Conor is top 5. I think he is the best guy at 55, but I want to see him prove it.
You know what though? To John's point, we've already seen Conor get beaten and dominated.
Yep.
And he bounced right back, wanted that fight again.
Whoa, settle down, Mr. Spaghetti Western. He dominated. All right.
Yeah, dominated is a bit strong.
Really?
He did lose. He lost hand. Well, what the fuck?
He got finished, but it wasn't like. It wasn't an ass whooping, like that was a back and forth fight where he happened to get finished.
Come on, guys. It was an ass whooping. I mean, he gave him his best shots, gassed out, started getting beat up, and did something that we've never seen him do. Go for a takedown and then get submitted. I mean, hey, all due respect, he took the loss like a man. He went out there, put his suit on, said Nate was a better man tonight, but I'm coming back. We already know the kind of
fight did he lose. So that fight was what, like 7.5 minutes? How many minutes of that fight was Conor McGregor losing, in your opinion?
The whole second round?
So like a minute and a half?
Yeah, that's still an ass whooping. I mean,
then he won 5 minutes of that fight, you're saying. So you're saying he won more of the fight than he lost, but it was an ass whooping?
I'll tell you what, the biggest difference between the first and second fight, one guy had to get the ref to save their ass in the first fight. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Conor whooped Nate's ass in the second. I'm just saying I don't think it was. I think those fights were both kind of close. They just one led to a finish.
How are we gonna? It's like saying that Chael Sonnen got his ass beat by Anderson Silva in their first fight. No, he didn't. He got dominated for 4.5 rounds, and then did a triangle.
Yeah.
Right,
whatever. That's not important.
Yeah, not important.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you know what's funny? On that point, Bellator's running with that shit. Have you seen the little countdown show?
Yeah.
They're like, Chael Sonnen dominated Anderson Silva. Not a mention about Anderson Silva catching his ass at the very end of that fight. I love how Bellator does that. That's a genius thing to do. Anyway, all right. To wrap this up nice in a nice little bow here, I think we're mostly agreeing here who's going to win. One by one, starting here with John. Your prediction for the fight.
Floyd, TKO, 6th round.
Dave.
A shady 12-rounder.
Shady 12-rounder?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I'm down with that, Fred.
Here we go, you fucking lineman.
Oh, I knew he was going to do it.
Shit.
I knew he was going to do it.
Put down. 2nd round, knockout, Conor McGregor. Don't fucking forget I said it. That's right. That's right.
He's taking it. He's Babe Ruth in this shit. He's calling a shot. All right, Jesse.
That's my boy. I'm going to ride with him.
That's all good.
I respect Fred for doing that. I mean, there's no shame in riding your guy to the very end. I agree with Dave. 12-rounder. And you know what? I wouldn't even be surprised if that same night, right after the decision is read, they pull out the poster for Conor McGregor Mayweather 2 at some point in July next year.
Yeah.
That would not be shocking.
Right, now hold on. Quickly, before we tie this up, one last thing on this. As far as the undercard goes, do any of you guys know of any like name fighters that any of us would know that are on the money team? Like, will they make an undercard worth anybody giving two shits about, or is it just going to be, Floyd's little cousins and them?
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
Did they do that for the Pacquiao fight? I mean, we have
I'm sure Pacquiao's people had some. At this rate, Dana said that Floyd's team is controlling the undercard, so it'll be all money team guys, and basically his whole thing, which makes sense. I mean, why does the UFC even want to worry about that shit?
Maybe they'll get some of McGregor's Irish mafia, like Conlon friend, box on the undercard.
Why not?
Listen. For real, the weigh-ins are gonna be fucking.
Oh, the lead up is gonna be amazing. The lead up is going to be I mean, it's going to be bad for America because we don't need any more racial strife, and it's definitely going to go that way. But yeah, it's going to be spectacle, man.
$29.99 for the weigh-ins. Pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well, he's like, every time you see a Mayweather fucking weigh-in, the Mayweather Pacquiao weigh-in was stupid. Like they filled the whole goddamn arena with people just for that weigh-in.
Yeah.
This is going to be.
Oh, it's going to be nuts.
Way crazy. It's going to be insane.
So many people you never knew were Irish until now.
Yeah, I bet, dude. Everyone
in your city, John. In your city too. They're debating shit.
No,
by the way,
what up?
Did you guys see what the ticket prices were? They were released.
I'm not even looking. I'm not gonna bother.
$3,500 for the crappiest seats possible, and it goes all the way.
Jesus Christ.
$3,500. Wow.
Yep.
Dude. Oh wow, that's awful. All right, hey. Fuck it. You know what's funny? There's actually a jiu-jitsu tournament that weekend. The Masters Worlds is there. I have teammates going to that. They booked their hotels like way long ago, right? Now they're happy.
He's gonna be recovered from fighting Chris Weidman by then.
He's losing. I'll be fine. Anyway. In fact, I'll box Chris Weidman at that shit. Put me on the undercard. Just give me a cut of that $3,500. God damn, dude. $3,500.
I've never heard of $3,500 tickets for nosebleeds before. That's insane.
That's how much you pay for like an NBA playoffs floor seat to like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's fucking crazy.
If you guys aren't signed up for like any of those like Ticketmaster or one of those things, I got the email like earlier today announcing the ticket prices, and I looked at it and I was like, oh my God. And these aren't even like reserved seat guys. These are just like, this is the section you might be sitting in, you might be together, this is the price. Like, it's not even like guaranteed where your seat's gonna be.
Should have bought them shits so you can scalp them off here in about a week or two and make some money.
That's what I'm saying. People are gonna be buying that. Those seats that just talking about are gonna end up being like $10,000. Come like fight night, watch some crazy shit. Just to be in the fucking building. Mind you, the best seat you can find actually watch the fight is at home. Fucking watch this pay-per-view. What is it? Anyone hear what the price is gonna be? I mean, I'm assuming it's gonna be in the $100.
Oh, it's gonna be at least 100, right? That's what the Pacquiao one was. Maybe
I'd say 140.
They might even up it.
But it makes sense though, right? Like at the end of the day, everybody talks all that fucking bullshit. Who's not going to watch this fight? Like
Everyone's
if you're
watching
remotely related to, like even if you're a fucking WWE fan,
you're watching.
I mean,
You'll watch
anyone
this
who's
fight,
a fan
man.
of the sports is watching, and so many casuals. Like that's the reason it makes money is because like all of us are gonna have to answer so many annoying fucking questions about this fight from our like friends who don't follow fighting for like the next 2 months. It's literally gonna be so fucking irritating.
Dana White got on ESPN and my phone blew up. I shit you not. There's like at least 15 unanswered texts just in the last like 10
people who
minutes.
never want to talk about fighting, right? Yeah.
Oh, dude, I was like, oh fuck, for all the.
And I've been like so sure it wasn't gonna happen. I was like, oh yeah, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. Oh yeah, great.
I'll give you this idea though. Let's say, what if they dropped the price to either $100 or even less than that, just because they want to break that pay-per-view record? Tell me that would not help that pay-per-view record get broken. Because this is what they're looking at. They want to break that pay-per-view record as of the Pacquiao Mayweather fight, right?
What was that, like 4.4 million, something like that?
Yeah, something crazy.
If they either keep the price at that or even lower it a little bit, maybe like by $10 or something, I think that would make their money.
Honestly, I think at $100 they can break that record. I think this is gonna be. I think this is gonna be like big. It feeds into a lot of shit that's going on in the world right now, like the white-black thing, like the Irish-American. Like, there's gonna be a lot of levels that this fight's gonna permeate on socially. It's gonna be everywhere for the next 2 months. There's gonna be crazy incidents at the weigh-ins and the conferences. Like, I think they don't need to lower the price, and they have a shot to break it.
They might need to up the price to pay for extra fucking security with all that bullshit's about to go down.
Yeah. Listen, I think not only are they going to break it, I tell you what, dude, I think they're going to smash it.
I can see it.
I think they're going to listen. Not only you're right, man. You're all right. It's the perfect storm of everything.
Jerry Cooney,
also,
man. For years, Jerry Cooney was the biggest boxing fight.
They've got WME now. They've got Hollywood to fucking promote this thing. I mean, this cocksucker is going to get. You know, I was thinking just now, like, you know, with the right promotion, then I'm thinking, fuck, there is no better promotion than what it's about to get.
And the right timing too, right? We got no basketball. All it is baseball, no football till after it. Like, perfect time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna
fucking kill. It's gonna kill.
Crazy. It's gonna be crazy. You know what's funny? We had like just some like, you know, bland ass subjects to talk about, and then this shit gets announced, and it's just it's craziness everywhere. So, all right, anything else you guys want to bring up on this fight?
It's literally the Great White Hype. If you've never seen that boxing movie, it's the best boxing movie of all time. This is literally the Great White Hype.
Straight up.
True. Case, it's gonna be nutty. All right. Now that we got past that, and I'm sure somehow we'll find our way back to that shit pretty soon.
More breaking news.
What?
Yeah, more breaking news. I'll say everything happens on Wednesdays. We do the show. So T Wood, Damian Maia's finally gonna get his fucking title shot. I think they're thinking UFC 216, but it's still a TBD at this point. But Damian Maia, man, finally getting that shot. And who else could they give him, man? I thought it was with the Rogers. I thought it was Canada, but I think it's
Canada.
Now, real quick, because I just read literally a second ago before you continue, Dave. Woodley wants to do this at UFC 214, which would be potentially, which is funny. UFC 214 is a big fucking card, kinda, right? Because Cyborg and Anderson was the rumor for that. All the other shit. Woodley wants that spot, but they're waiting to hear if Maia can make to that fight. So I think Dave is probably on the money with that 216 call right there.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Damian Maia, I'm not rushing. I know I'm probably going to get knocked out in this fight anyway, so, I mean, might as well give it your best shot. Sucks that, like, I mean, I feel bad for Maia to finally get to the mountaintop and just have probably the worst possible matchup he could have. It's not great for him.
Yeah, what do you think about the fight? Okay, Dave, go ahead. What do you think about the fight?
No, I think on short notice, it wouldn't be good for either fighter. I mean, Damian Maia just came off a pretty hard-fought decision win against Masvidal, so I think the ideal scenario would be to push this back. I don't know if it's going to be a headliner. I mean, to the hardcores, it's definitely the matchup we want to see, but they're going to have to stack it up.
It's a pay-per-view.
Yeah, Canada possibly, but they're going to add a couple fights and probably build that one up. And yeah, man, Damian Maia finally getting that shot, man.
If they get off this Mighty Mouse bullshit and get back to Garbrandt TJ, I'd like a double bill of those title fights. That's pretty solid.
What do you put as a main event on that if you put those two fights together?
I guess TJ Dillashaw versus because you had the Ultimate Fighter build, so I guess that's a little bit bigger. I mean, I think Maia. I bet Masvidal, so I thought Maia was going to lose to Masvidal, and then Masvidal did that annoying Masvidal thing where he goes out and like thinks he's doing better than he does, so he's all nonchalant and shit. But I mean, I think Maia's not going to be able to get this to the ground at all. And I mean, I think Maia's going to take shots that are too heavy, and I think this will be over pretty quick. Like, I think Woodley by like first round KO, first round TK, because Woodley's just going to stand by the fence like he normally does. You know, he's going to make Maia come to him, probably counter him. You know, like the same way he gets everyone. Like he gets better strikers than Maia to like make the first move and get countered. And like, I don't think Maia's going to be able to shoot a fucking single or a double out there and then like go to his back. Like Woodley's too good of a wrestler, too strong, too athletic, too prepared for that shit. So I just think, I mean, if Maia goes to his back, I think he's just going to get pounded out. Like I think Woodley will probably just clear his legs and land big hard shots. And I think eventually he probably just gets countered if it's standing. Yeah. So. Right, I like Maia. I wish he was getting an easier fight now that he got the title finally after what, like 7 wins in a row or some shit.
Yeah. No, this is true. Yeah, Fred, what do you think?
You know, I don't know about all that. I don't know if I got all that much confidence in Mr. Tyron.
All right.
I think that it's a fine matchup. I don't think that Tyron's a powerful striker, but he's far from technical. He's still the same guy that got fucking thunderstruck by Nate Marquardt. Nah, I know.
Is he though? I don't know. I think the striking has improved quite a bit in the last 5 years. Like, I think if you look in that fight, like he now stands by the fence, right? Like before he used to pressure, and when he pressured, he would create counter opportunities. Now he stands by the fence, and it drives everyone crazy because, you know, the right guy, a Rory McDonald who can kick and is long, can take advantage of it. But look at most guys. It sucks guys into that slow pace where they're like, oh, he's by the fence. Like, I'm going to pressure him. It tricks the guys into wanting to pressure when they're not pressure fighters. And Woodley is a very good counter striker. So if you pressure Tyron Woodley, even if you're Stephen Thompson and you're throwing a bunch of long-range weird kicks, eventually you get caught because eventually you make a mistake and he hits you with about one heavy shot.
Stephen Thompson's a counter striker too, though.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, Stephen Thompson was super scared. Like Stephen Thompson lost both those fights by Stockton rules. #scared. But
listen, I think that Damian Maia is on a different level grappling. I think that eventually he will get his hands on fucking Tyron Woodley, and I do think he can take Tyron down quite easily. I think he fucking took down Carlos Condit, wrapped him up like an old school burrito. And
I mean, you can't compare Carlos Condit to some of the worst takedown defense of all time.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Tyron Woodley, who's like a D1 wrestler and has never been taken down. But I mean, I get it.
Listen, I'll do whatever the fuck I want to do. I think the fucking Carlos Condit's grappling is fucking nasty. And I think that in an MMA cage, it's not the same thing. They're not wrestling. So I think that, listen, who has prevented Damian Maia from doing what Damian Maia does other than goddamn Rory McDonald and Jake Shields? Somebody. And Rory McDonald happened to be. So, I don't know. I think that it's going to be hard to prevent Damian from getting his hands on Tyron.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I think it's a tough one.
Listen, I'll tell you what, though. Either way, beyond that, I don't fucking love this fight on pay-per-view. I hope that they can book another something because, you know, I listen, I like this fight. It'll be fun. It's interesting. But as far as it being a headliner of a pay-per-view,
well, that's why Woodley wants a 214 slot. That's why Woodley wants a 214 slot. He's not stupid. He knows.
Yeah, you ain't lying, Jack. That's exactly why he wants that 214 slot. And I'll give it to Woodley. He's smart enough to know that, and he still wants on those cards that are going to generate more because he gets a little taste now. He's smart, man. I hope they do put it on 214, or at least they can put something else with that. Right. That'll, you know, there's always a trick up the fucking hat to be had. But
what do we have at 214 right now? Is Megan versus Cyborg official or no?
No, it's a rumor at best.
Okay. So what's the current 214 headliner?
I don't think does it have? No, it's not that's not the Jones card, is it?
No, that's
no
13.
No, I think that's. I think it might be 214 or some shit. Hold on, I'm gonna look right now. Oh
yeah, Cormier versus Jones 2 is 214.
It's 214.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there
Yeah.
you go.
It's
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
As it stands right now,
no shit, Tyron wants to get on there.
hell yeah, he does. As it stands right now, DC Jones 2 is headliner.
It's got my fucking vote.
Yeah. Duho Choi was going to be on that card, but he got hurt.
Oh yeah, against Feely.
Yeah, I just heard that.
Yeah.
Then Aljo against Henan Barao. Kalen Kerning against Alexander Albu. You get the point. It's not ready. It's not done yet. So it's got a long way to go.
Listen,
So it's not a bad spot for Woodley.
I love the idea that co-headlining behind coming back with John and fucking Daniel. That's a strong fucking card, Jack.
Yep, I'm into that.
Like an old school UFC card that's actually worth the money.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. Jesse, what do you think about this Woodley Maia fight?
Finally, right? Yeah, I agree with Fred. I think people like overhype Tyron Woodley's takedown defense. I mean, who was it? Rory McDonald took him down, and he's not the greatest wrestler ever. He's actually got less credentials than Tyron Woodley if we just look at it on paper. So I think Damian Maia's potential here to take him down is pretty high. There's been other fighters that have been able to take down Tyron Woodley. So I really don't buy that whole deal that he's not going to be able to take him down. I think he's going to take him down. He's going to either take him down, in the center of the octagon, or he's going to pull guard and take him down that way. I mean, that's how he got Masvidal down as well. So I mean, there's several ways this can play out. But I'm excited. We finally get to see a guy that's really been grinding away and get his due. The same thing with Max Holloway just a few weeks ago. He grinded his way to a title shot, finally earned his way, and he got what he deserved. And I think Damian Maia finally is going to get the title shot he deserves here.
Dave, you agree with that? Maia. Who you picking in that fight, Woodley or Maia? You should unmute yourself first.
I was on me. Yeah, it might be one of those. Tyron Woodley is the last two performances, like you guys are mentioning about the pay-per-view slot where you want to be on it. He's not really a draw, so it would be ideal for him to be on a big card because, I mean, him holding the title at 170. I mean, we all remember the times of George St. Pierre. No matter what, we knew what he was going to do and go in there and do like similar what Damian Maia does to people, and everybody tuned in for that shit. So I think this is, like I said, a fight for the hardcores, a fight that we want to see no matter what card it is, whether it's a headliner or not. I think Damian Maia has a chance to snuff Woodley, though. I think if he's going to do it, it's going to be early. Because if the fight goes longer, I think Woodley's just going to tag him up and fight the same style. John is saying, he fights against the fence, sort of like nullifies, a lot of strikers. And this fight is not going to be anything like competed. Like Damian Maia is not going to strike with Tyron Woodley at all. And he's immediately just going to try to take his back and just strangle the shit out of him. So I just think he could really just take over, man. Damian Maia could really, put himself or put the welterweight division in a weird spot because DSP is still out there. Masvidal's there. We might actually see Robbie Lawler fight Donald Cerrone here in about a month's time. We don't know yet. So the 170 division's in a weird place right now. So ideally, though, the way I see it, I'm happy for Damian Maia. We talked about it many times on this show that, the guy deserves his due. Dana promised him after that win over Masvidal. So he motherfucking delivered and gave him a shot. So pleased about that. And I think he's got a good chance to beat Tyron and end his run for sure.
Tell you what,
so Woodley has 91% takedown defense, and he's literally been taken down twice in his entire career. Once by Rory, once by Clark. Total time controlled is about 48 seconds in those.
Yeah, a lot of what Woodley does is not put himself in position to get taken down. Just like you said, back to the fence.
Well, I mean, also that one takedown that Rory got was like a weird one. Like I kind of remember that it was like against the fence and like it was a counter shot. So I mean, look, if Woodley tries to grapple with Maia, he's gonna get fucked up, right? Like and Woodley makes like the Woodley guillotine against Thompson the first time is one of the two dumbest fight decisions I've ever seen. So it's possible he has a terrible game plan.
It's possible. I remember keep you on the TV going, let go of that shit. You're not gonna get it. Let it fucking go. But and he kind of got himself out a little bit after that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's talk a little bit of Bellator here. Bellator just hired one of our old boys, Mike Goldberg, and got Mauro Ranallo from WWE. So here's the thing. So when I first heard this shit, you're gonna put both these guys to like the screen on the same fucking team. Not gonna happen. Apparently, the idea is to switch back and forth. But for this Bellator NYC, I believe they said Mike Goldberg will be on the call with Jimmy Smith, and Ranallo is gonna be at the desk. right? But now everyone starts questioning: is Bellator, trying to catch up to the UFC? I'm gonna say, just based off of these hires, no. Okay, that's not the reason they're gonna catch up to the UFC. But then they become a little more legit. Ronaldo's calling fucking pride fights, and he's like the voice of boxing for, is it Showtime?
Yeah.
Am I right on that? Yeah. He's the voice of boxing for Showtime. That's a legit voice. Mike Goldberg brings all the UFC guys that are starting to watch Bellator more, and it gives them a familiar voice. It helps a lot. You know what I mean?
Both of these guys suck. Hot take. Yeah, I don't like Mauro at all. Like people have been trying. I think the Mauro thing is nostalgia for pride.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't know. I don't think he's entertaining. And Goldberg is literally the worst announcer I've ever heard. The fact that guy has I don't even understand. He can't speak. The guy can barely speak English. How the fuck does he have a job where your job is to speak? It makes no sense.
Look, keep in mind that Goldberg was hired to the UFC when watching MMA and UFC was like watching porn. You didn't talk about it.
I mean, he sucks, man. He's the worst.
You didn't talk about it back in the day. So
I already don't watch Bellator because it's on tape delay on the West Coast, which is ridiculous. But now I will definitely not watch it because fuck that, bro.
This one's supposed to be live. NYC's supposed to be live. I'm not paying for it, but we're gonna watch.
We'll see. Yeah. Oh yeah, because it's pay-per-view, right? Yeah, like I already told them. I think that pay-per-view is worth $27, and I think it's 30-something. So I would not pay that much money. It's above the ceiling of what I think it's worth.
Wait, how much are they charging? Is it like $50 you're charging?
I think they're charging like 40.
Oh, Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
Oh, $49.99. I'm pretty sure.
50? Jesus. Yeah, no.
Mind you, the top two fights all have at least 3 guys that probably shouldn't be fighting anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm good. Pass. I'd like to see Larkin versus Lima. That's a legit fight that I'm like, I'd like to watch that fight, but no.
Is that going to be on the free broadcast?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
And then also, need not forget Iron Michael Chandler against what's his name? His opponent.
No, you did. There you go. That's
Primus. Brent Primus.
Yeah, some dude, some guy.
Oh, God,
that's the fucking problem with Michael Chandler and his
Jobber.
It's always and that one dude.
Yeah.
What do you think Michael Chandler would do in the UFC real quick, Fred?
It's hard to say, man. I mean, it's hard to say. He'd be good.
Top 25
he could compete
guy,
for
maybe?
sure. I mean, top 10 possibly.
I don't think so.
Maybe. It's hard to say. I mean,
Will Brooks is not good, and I think Will Brooks is a little better than Michael Chandler.
Eddie Alvarez got the title though, so
yeah, but that was kind of fluky.
Hey, listen, I know we live in a world in which Michael Bisping's the champion. Donald
Still.
Trump's the president. Every fucking thing's a fluke these days, Jack. But listen, as far as Bellator signing Goldie goes, I'm all fucking for it. It makes sense. Bellator's becoming like that old strange piece of pussy that you always like going back to. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's familiar, man. She's got all these familiar names. Now they've got Goldie. Fucking even the old Pride guy and shit. I fucking love it. I love it. Now, it's not going to make me order that punk ass pay-per-view. That's for sure. I'm definitely not ordering that shit. But listen, I don't mind Goldie. I'm used to him.
I feel like if you're trying to sell me a Chael Sonnen fight in 2017, I should be allowed to kick you out of my house. Like, if you showed up on my door and were like, hey, are you interested in watching Chael Sonnen versus Vanderlei Silva? I'd be like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
That is pretty rough as the headliner, I gotta say. I mean, Chael's coming off a loss. Vanderlei ain't fought in a month of Sundays. It is a bit hard to swallow that as a pay-per-view headliner, man.
This is Bellator's second attempt at a pay-per-view, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I think third attempt, but second actual one if they do it. Because remember, they were supposed to do a pay-per-view with Chandler versus Alvarez the second time, and it fell through.
Yeah.
Or Rampage was in it or some shit.
That would have been a way better fight and card, too.
It was a Rampage Tito fight that didn't fucking happen.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Jesse, what do you think about this, man? Do you think? I mean, look, I'm all for Mike Goldberg having a job and being able to call fights and shit, but it's almost like Bellator's trying to grab every UFC guy they can find and pack them all in there and be like UFC clone-ish.
Why not, right?
Brilliant.
If it's possible for you to get guys that the Bud Light fans are familiar with, why not? If Joe Rogan's available, why wouldn't you want a guy screaming, at your TV, at your fans, tell him, oh, this fight's over, and then, freaking Goldberg talking about corn nuts, whatever the hell, right? Like, why wouldn't you want that? Even all the promos that they have of like old stuff, UFC, it has those familiar voices. It's a win-win here, and I think Mauro Ranallo is still one of the best announcers out there. I mean, there's very few guys that can do what he does, has the voice that he has, and be able to articulate exactly what you're looking at without making you feel stupid. And when he went to WWE, I thought that was the biggest misstep of his life. I guess that was his hopes and dreams of doing that, but that turned out crappy for him. Yeah. But I'm glad to see him back in MMA.
I was reading up on Ranallo, and everything I found on him was he got bullied out of WWE. How the fuck does that happen?
Yeah, I read about that by like the other dude, the other like announcer. How are you a grown man getting bullied?
It makes no sense.
It's trash.
Well, I was asking people that know about professional wrestling. It's just like, I'm like, how do you get bullied out of an announcer job? Oh, it's so guy.
Pussy.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Have you cocksuckers ever seen Jerry the King Lawler?
Is it him that did it?
Scares me.
No,
of course he did.
No, it was some like European too. It wasn't even like a fucking it was like some cheesy Euro.
Does it?
It was that guy JBL.
Wait. I watched. I remember that dude. That dude used to fucking wrestle. What's his name?
Yeah, with the that guy.
Sneakers too. Look at Eddie. Eddie's like, I remember that guy. He was fucking tough. Lay off.
No, he was one of those dirty motherfuckers that like you threw in there if you wanted to piss off the crowd.
Yeah,
he's rich.
He's the guy that is famous for being an asshole, basically. Like he just tries to be the guy that is the biggest guy out there. When Brock Lesnar was in the back, he backed off because he knew he could get his ass beat. But after Brock Lesnar is no longer there in the back, now he's the guy that pushes people around, does his thing. Now, he had to eat a little bit of crow because the rumor was that Boss Rutan was going to go down there and beat his ass. So he kind of laid off his buddy Mauro. But still, Mauro just decided to leave the WWE. So that would have been interesting.
I should have sent Boss down there. That would have taught him a lesson.
You ever heard of that story of Brian Urlacher, the Bears linebacker, about to start a fight with Boss Rutan? And Brian's friends go, hey, no, dude, go back to your table. Fuck that shit.
The whole bar jumped on him and was like, no, he's going to fuck you up. And it was Boss in his prime, too. So
he's going to be open palm strikes to the face immediately.
Kill you.
It would not have been good. Boss has like those videos about how to fuck people up in bars, too. Like, Boss would have like crazy shit.
It's like Henner does those with the street fight breakdowns of jiu-jitsu. Boss Rutan does that shit with just striking. He will fuck you up.
The Boss is like, first you slap him in the face, then you punch him in the liver, then you grab a glass bottle and bash it over his head.
I know. It's at least funny at the least when you watch his shit. All right. Talk about this last weekend. Derek Lewis loses to Mark Hunt. Whatever, it's a heavyweight fight, right? But then Derek Lewis
betting ticket on Mark Hunt plus 135. Thank you.
I
did, yeah. Because Derek Lewis had no technique, man. He was a big athletic dude who was tough and had heart, and it's heavyweight. So if you could hang out and not be finished, you could pick up wins. But if you look at his past 4 fights, he looked like shit in almost all of those 6 wins, bro. That Shabil fight, if that's a 3-round fight, he loses 30-27. He literally just got wrestled. Shabil knocked him down twice. They were knockdown trip things, but Shabil knocked him down. Mitrione finished him with a forearm. It wasn't even a punch. No, I never bought the Derek Lewis thing. Luckily I was able to cash that bet because the rest of the dudes he fought were kind of trash. So I was never confident enough to bet. And even Travis Brown has been done. But I mean, I knew Hunt was tough enough that he'd take the shots. And I just knew that eventually you can't just be athletic for that long against a dude. Hunt is basically the Mendoza line at heavyweight, where if you have no skills whatsoever, you're not going to be able to beat that dude because you're not going to get the lucky shot that puts him out.
You know what it is? Mark Hunt took over the gates of heavyweight as Roy Nelson is on the Bellator, so he's now the gate to the title, basically, because if you want to be a heavyweight champion, you got to be able to beat Mark Hunt, likewise, and Roy Nelson back in the day.
Definitely. Now he went on to retire after the fight. I mean, he said, "I'm done. I'm getting married." All this shit. Whether or not that happens, I think the best part was afterwards. Travis Brown wanted a rematch and Francis Ngannou shit on him, and Derek Lewis came back at him the fucking nastiest way possible. He said something like, he said something like Travis Brown back from the dead and Francis Ngannou learned how to use Google Translate.
Yeah.
That was fucking killer shots on Twitter. That shit was funny as fuck.
I think he'll be back. I mean, I could go either way because I don't know if you guys remember, but like for like a long time, even I think his first 3 fights in the UFC, he literally would say after every fight that he was just doing MMA to save up to buy a house. It was literally like 3 fights in a row in the UFC, and I think one of them in Legion Legacy or whatever that Texas organization he was in before too. So I don't know. I could go either way. He might be done. I hope he isn't. I mean, I think he could still. If he went to like ATT or a real camp at 33 or 32, he's still young in the heavyweight division. But I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's kind of one of those guys who likes to do things their own way, and I think he's kind of one of those guys who's more into the other stuff than the actual training.
But you know what? The craziest thing about him is that he's only been doing MMA like just a few years.
I think it's 6 years total. Yeah,
it's nothing. I mean, to be as successful as he has been is pretty amazing. I mean, you still got to give it up to the guy. He's athletic enough to be throwing head kicks.
I mean, spamming head kicks. He probably threw like 12 or 13 jumping head kicks at 260-something pounds. That's crazy. I mean, like, he's a very talented dude. I just wish he would get better training.
And that's the thing. You know, Ngannou, you know, Claudio Gadelha, a lot of these fighters are realizing that these small camps are just not going to cut it anymore. You have to go to these super camps, or at least a camp that knows exactly how to build these fighters, build them up correctly. Now, I think the biggest problem is we got to remember, after his last fight, the Black Beast, he had said that he wanted to take some time off. He wanted to heal. And they offered him this fight, threw a lot of money at him, obviously, because I guess, according to sources, that he threw out a ridiculous number. And they said, yeah, okay, we'll match that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he got a big payday out of this. You know, and now he's going to be able to enjoy his wedding, honeymoon, a bit of a time off. And I think after he does all this, he's going to look back and go, you know what, I could keep doing this a couple more times, make some more money, really cash in some paydays. He's not a guy, like, he never has struck me as a guy that wants to be the champion, but he's the guy that's always going to be there, you know, basically breaking down these newcomers that are coming in. And that's perfect for him. You know, and I think that with, like John says, a little bit of better training, we could actually get a really, really good, polished the Black Beast. Maybe we won't get that, but at least it'll be entertaining.
Definitely. All right. A couple more things here before we go, because I know we're running out of time for Fred. The Aldo thing, I wanted to get to that because that really bothers me a little bit, because so Jose Aldo's coach came out and said that Aldo had a leg injury for this last fight against Holloway, where he lost. Now, the whole fight, we're all yelling on Twitter, whatever, yelling at each other and shit, just going, why the fuck are the leg kicks? Jose Aldo's leg kicks are insane. I think he threw like minimum. He threw like nothing. He threw one the whole fucking fight, okay? Now, coming out saying he had a leg injury, I don't like that look. I think it's a bad look to come out after you lost the fight and say, my leg's fucked up. My leg's fucked up, it's busted up and shit, whatever. What was your take on that, Fred?
Was his leg busted up before the Frankie fight?
Yes.
Was it?
Not the second one.
I told you guys, ever since that accident on the motorcycle, his leg kicks have dropped dramatically. And I told you guys that ever since then, I don't think he's been the same. So I think
he's been fighting wrestlers before, and he also has been like working more on his boxing and like those pivots. So I mean, against Edgar, it didn't make sense to throw leg kicks. Against Max, it made all the sense in the world. Look, I'm a Max, like, I bet Max full on, like a Max bet. I've been on the Max can beat any 145 or over 5 rounds thing for like 2 years. You can check my Twitter. I was surprised there were less leg kicks. I was expecting to lose 2 rounds based on leg kicks and have Max either win a decision or like finish Jose late. And that was very surprising that we didn't see those. I feel like I love Jose. I think he's unfairly defined by those 13 seconds. And I think that sucks because I think he's an all-time great. But I do think he has a tendency to make excuses after the fact, much like Mark Hunt, who we just talked about. Every Jose Aldo loss comes with, I was hurt, like bad weight cut, like even bad performances, right? Like even when he slows down, there's always an excuse. Oh, I broke my foot against the Korean Zombie. Like, oh, I fucking.
You know what John, you know what it reminded me of, or everybody remembers it well? I mean, Floyd and Pacquiao. What did Pacquiao say right in the post-fight conference?
Right,
like
his cramps or whatever.
Yeah, shoulder injury or something to that extent. But yeah, like you said about Aldo, though, it's been so consistent with him where there's always something. Yeah, much like what's his name? Johnny Hendricks is another case. And,
another type of that's a type of fighter, right? There's some fighters who have never lost. The Diaz brothers, right? Never lost a fight in their life, right? There's always something that happened and why they didn't lose.
But whatever. At the end of the day, here's how much it matters.
I mean, Max whooped his ass, and if he threw fucking 10 more leg kicks, Max would have taken those leg kicks, and he would have whooped his ass anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying, as far as him coming out and saying it now, other than fucking, a few Brazilians in a favela somewhere, who actually hears that and goes, yeah, true. That's the reason right there, because his leg was, man, I mean, okay. Cool.
Jose is kind of like a down-low crazy person. Like, if you listen to the shit he says, like, he's the king of, like, saying some real shit and then retracting it or blaming the translation. Like, he's kind of, like, a little bit Vitor Belfort-ish. And, like, before we all realized Vitor was crazy, like, I was always like, oh, Vitor's crazy. Like, Jose is a little crazy.
He has to be. You got to be that way, right? To be a fucking world champion for that long. All right. Running out of time here. Anything else you guys want to throw on?
We got.
If Holly Holm loses this fight, can we just pretend she never existed?
No, because she's gonna fight Cyborg. She's not gonna lose that fight. What are you saying, Fred? Fred.
Yeah, it's gonna be
bad lag. What did you?
Yeah, Kirby, you're good. Go for it.
Go ahead, Kirby.
What the fuck are we talking about? Are we talking about bets?
No, anything. Last thing, whatever you want to throw in. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the fight this weekend. Let's talk about real quick about that.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and that whole card stinks except for that fight, right? And you got to wake up bright and early to watch it.
Yeah.
It's in what, Singapore?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see.
What are you gonna do, right?
Covington,
I guess this is. Colby Covington. There's something to wake up early for.
I'm interested in seeing the big step up for him. Like, Colby's a legit prospect. He's had his first UFC loss. Like, this is a big step up against fucking Stun Gun. So, I mean, I think that's a legit interesting fight. I think Takanori Gomi is going to take a pretty badass whooping from John Tuck. That's worth kind of getting up early for. What else?
Jesus Christ, Gomi's on this card?
Yeah.
He's still in the UFC. Yeah.
How the mighty have fallen.
I'm curious as how RDA is going to look at 170. Like, if he doesn't look good against Safadine, he's not going to be good because him and Safadine are basically the same size. They're kind of giving him the ideal matchup to go to that weight. So we'll see, man. But I don't know that he's going to do good against Safadine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a fucking
close fight.
Yeah, the prelims start at 2 a.m. morning on my side. Okay, fuck that. I'm sorry, I'm not getting up for that.
Whoa.
I'll watch him after I watch the main card.
Don't be a fucking pussy, Eddie. Just do a little meth and stay up all night.
I'm not in Dayton, motherfucker. All right, that's just not.
Fuck you. Yeah, you're in Phoenix. They got better meth out there, cocksucker. That's where
I think it starts at 5 a.m. West Coast time.
The main card does. The main card's 5 a.m. West Coast.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's the main card?
That's the main card, dude. The prelims is 2 a.m. for West Coast. That's why I'm going to watch it after.
This is not worth getting up at that time for.
Yeah, no, it really is not. So.
Yeah. Oh, no, also,
shameful shit.
Too.
I thought 5 a.m. was the prelims. I could get up at like 7:30, watch the main fight. Like, no? Oh, fuck that.
The East Coast gets the main card at 8 a.m. It's perfect timing for the guys like Kirby. So it's perfect for them.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, Dave?
No, I was just say Andre Arlovsky's in that co-main event, and if he gets knocked the fuck out or in any way finished, like that guy's got to be
finishes in a row for that guy. I think it's gonna happen too. I think he's just done.
Hey, look, there's a lot of pinks waiting in the back of this event. A lot of pinks waiting for motherfuckers. To tell you that much.
It seems like that's they're definitely starting to set those old guys up to take bad ones and hit the door. You know, like you're not seeing You're seeing Gomi. I mean, John Tuck's not a killer. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. But, I mean, John Tuck right now is a terrible matchup for Gomi, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We just seen it this past weekend, though. We just seen Ross Pearson nearly get decapitated.
I mean, we've been seeing it, man. Like, we've been seeing it. They tried to set my man Frankie up, but Frankie's too strong for these streets. He was too ready. Frankie didn't have to get ready because Frankie stays ready. But fucking, they tried.
I don't know why they always try to fucking sleep on Frankie. I don't get that shit, but
Always,
always.
because he's small and slow.
Yeah, all right. We're running out of time here, Jesse. You needed a minute?
Oh yeah. Just wanted to raise awareness about diabetes because, as Dave would attest to, just over the weekend, John Bone Jones's mother died due to diabetes. So everybody, get healthy. Don't be fat like me, and just take care of yourself, man. That's pretty serious. That's pretty sad. So our prayers and thoughts go out to the Jones family and even DC. I mean, DC, having the hatred that he has for John Jones, was able to put that aside and send a very nice thoughts and prayers to John Jones's family. So
DC PR people sent a nice tweet.
Yeah, it really sucks to see that. And I mean, you got a championship family right there, really. 2 Super Bowls, and a fucking, was it 7, 8, or 9 titles, whatever it is that Jones has in MMA. But
and then you also got and you got the one daughter who died too, so you got some tragedy in that family too. You had the 3 champion athletes and the daughter who died at 13 of brain cancer.
Yep, and it's in every in a lot of families, if not most of them. The mama's she's the queen, and she's obviously the one that birthed them. So thoughts and prayers and condolences to the Jones family. All right, it's gonna do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. John, where can they find you at?
At John's Crazy Life on Twitter.
All right, Dave's at Dave's MMA Brief. Kirby's, of course, at Kirby_MMA. Jesse is at Spowat 1983, and I'm at Elaw31. Of course, follow. You can see all the Twitters right down here under my little blue name tag thingy. And of course, reptheadvocates.com. Get yourself some represent gear. CrossbonesMMA.com. Take it right to the YouTube page and right to the videos and shit. And for all my friends here and myself, good night, Wilshire. Catch you guys later.
All right, man. Good luck with Weidman.